Hello and welcome to the next episode of Joe Martin Show. Today I'm here with Primo Danger. So can you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Phil
I'm Shane.
Jackson. I'm Phil Jackson. I sing for the band. I do songwriting, and founded the project in like 2018 or something like that, informally. I started the band. Yeah, and then
Yeah, and
Shane.
I'm Shane. I play guitar for Primo Danger and other stuff. Like
So how did you come up with the idea of the band? Because you said it was in 2018, right?
Yeah, it was in 2018. It just started off kind of like as a solo project that was just like bedroom stuff. Just ended up writing a whole bunch of things. A lot of things not even like cohesive with this project, but like once I got in my groove of writing, I just ended up with a lot of things that had this cohesive sound that I just like, okay, there's something in this territory right here that I love doing. It was just like, yeah, just kind of influenced from a lot of like post-punk, indie rock, like even early like 80s punk too. So just like, just kind of flowing with that and started like, I maybe had like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 demos done, then like maybe like, I don't know, 50 unfinished stems and projects that are related to it. Kind of like I would put a couple releases out, I put like 2 out over the span of a year. Then finally was just like, all right, let's just make this into a fucking band. Like let's get this together, and which is how I met this guy actually, Shane. It was off of a Craigslist posting.
Oh wow.
yeah, I my band had just broken up, and then it was like I was like, fuck, I need to fucking do something. And then that night my previous project dissolved. That's where I found Phil's posting. He had this song called "Through the Cracks" on, and then I was like, okay, that's dope. And then I was like, hey, blah blah blah. I like the Strokes, Arctic Monkeys, Portugal the Man, that type of shit. And then we met up over at a bar, like a few days afterwards, a week afterwards.
Yeah, it was like a few days after
Some
at
shit like
the
that.
single wide, and in
Yeah.
like the lower Greenville part of Dallas. Yeah, and
Yeah. And then
I still. Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember the first question you had to me coming up was so we had mutual friends on Facebook and stuff. So he looked me up before, and then his first question he had for me was, "So how do you know my fiance?"
If
I was just
fuck,
like,
this is
this
would not be a thing.
I was just like concerned at first. I was like, oh my god, who's your fiance? Yeah. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, friend from high school. All good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Damn. So do people actually find themselves on Craigslist? Because like, I guess like over here, like it's kind of common just to go through Instagram or like flyers or whatever. It's very different.
Yeah, and like it was, because it's 2019, so I guess it was kind of a thing to do Instagram. So, and I guess I forgot to mention, like I just thought of this. I had a different iteration of this band before. I just didn't take it as seriously at the time. It was like I had like 2 or 3 other members join. We had literally one practice, and no one would show up. And it was just like, maybe I put like 3 attempts into it, and then it was just kind of like, all right, yeah. And I did it through friends, like, like people, or I guess, like decent enough friends to where they took it as like, oh, I'm doing like a homie a favorite thing instead of like, I want to fucking like do this thing.
They were like really like actually into the whole thing about a band. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, everyone that believes in the project and wants to like contribute and figure out ways to like just make it the best we can.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you're starting something like that, Yeah, it's normally better to just find people that are on the same page, and then you don't have to lose friends after
Mm-hmm.
after you get into each other's faces and shit.
Yeah.
How do
Normally
you
works
know?
out better.
How do you know when you find a person that's like bandmates? Like, how do you know when they're on the same page compared to just being there because they want to hang out or just be friends?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it kind of boils down to really like almost like work ethic. Like, because like being a band, I mean, obviously it's definitely about being creative. Like it's like you need to have that aspect, but it's not like one of the top, like it's important, but at the end of the day it is like being motivated, being communicative, being ready to like practice and like
Mm-hmm.
and just like do the things we need to do before we show up to practice so we can like really make it a like fruitful and like productive like time with one another. And yeah, I don't know if you had
Mm-hmm.
anything else on that, Shane.
Yeah, I feel like a band today as opposed to like, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, you need to be like a social media manager. You need
Oh
to
yeah.
know how to do like some sort of part of graphic design. You need to learn how to like market yourself. So like you have to like treat it like
It's
like
legit
it's
like a small
almost like
business.
yeah, it is like it is a small
Yeah,
business.
straight
Except
up.
you're just
Yeah.
putting money into it.
Yeah, you don't make it's a big old money pit,
Yeah.
but a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to lose
Yeah.
some money? Start a band. That's awesome.
I hear crazy stories about like how people just like like lately like sometimes I read like news stories on Facebook and I often hear how like touring has gotten expensive where some bands even cancel like certain legs of the US because they don't see it as profitable or like it's just gonna cost like a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, like and us, yeah, we've mainly, we've gone through like small like Texas and Oklahoma like runs so far, but like yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean I totally understand it. We haven't been as as lengthy on it so far, but like every like yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
even compiling the costs and everything, especially now with inflation and everything going fucking bananas there.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
we got to figure
Yeah.
out ways to be like strategic and either finding places to crash it. If you know someone in a different location, finding a place to crash there. It's all about, just
Mm-hmm.
finding ways to cut corners.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of bands now they're like instead of doing the extensive tour where you're just going to lose a lot of money all at once, like you kind of just have to break it up into like different spurts, like okay, hey, this week or we're going to do this area, or this weekend we're going to do that area, so you just don't fucking put yourself in a hole all at once, and then you could kind of recoup your funding,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, like it's just harder and harder for independent artists to like make any additional income back. But that's pretty
Yeah.
much that on that.
Damn. Yeah, because like I always hear like I mean I hear the great stuff like the great stories like the great experiences playing on tour. Like I always hear like those awesome stories where they see like these fans from like other states of the in the US. But then also you hear like there's kind of like stories of them like bands getting robbed, like to get their merch robbed. Like I heard multiple stories from a band called Riley and Archer O, and they mentioned like
Hmm.
sometimes you could be like hanging out and then you're going somewhere to eat and then people just like go into your like they usually have like a giant like basket attached to the van and well sometimes people just like just ransack it.
Oh yeah, dude, that happened to some of our friends that are in this band called Rose Garden Funeral Party. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she had her whole fucking rig jacked from her. Same thing. Uh,
Those
what the fuck
dirty shirts
is that
too.
band? Dirty Shirt, Dirty
Yeah,
Shirts.
Damn.
Nick.
They're
Yeah.
another Dallas band. Yeah, they had their shit jacked. So we're at one point we're like, damn, do we want to be in a van or are we gonna like have a trailer and need to like park it against
Yeah.
the fucking wall and stuff so nobody can climb into it or break a window? Yeah, like you have to
Jeez.
be prepared for whatever could happen.
Yeah, I'm on the team of like bringing your shit. Like, I mean, obviously, it's hard to like control all the variables in it, but like, it's like
Mm-hmm.
if you are staying at a hotel or something, like bring your shit with you into the hotel. Like for sure, people break in. There's so many fucking stories of bands like having their shit stolen, and like especially on tour, you're halfway through the country. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a yeah, it's just a fucked situation to be in because that's a lot of money of equipment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One time I was actually in Houston, and then I stopped in to like a local guitar shop over there off of like 45, and then I went in for like 30 minutes to grab some strings, came back out, like my back window was smashed in, and then
Damn.
like my backpack with like my mics and my cords and all of that was just gone. Like they were just
Oof.
waiting for you. They were probably just like waiting for me to go inside so they could smash my shit and take my stuff that I had. Then I had to
Mm-hmm.
drive back to Dallas with uh, like a smashed window. There was just glass everywhere.
Whoa.
But yeah, I mean that happens.
Yeah, it
It's
comes
all
to
a part of it.
territory. Yeah, for me, it kind of freaks me out because like like I'm still learning from different bands, like different friends, like what the experience is, and I mean,
Uh,
it is obviously worth it. I mean, you're trying to get yourself out there and have different fans listen to you. The thing that always gets me curious is like how do you know when it's worth traveling like to a different city and all that stuff? Like, how do you know there's like a demand for it?
Yeah, I guess it kind of boils down to sometimes it's just like going at it. And I mean, obviously, it's like finding ways to promote, whether it's just like hitting up, people in the area, or if it's running, I don't know, an
Mm-hmm.
ad down in that area just to boost awareness for the shows, like having, local support that, has a bit, you know, has some hype around them and stuff like that. So it's and especially it's like when you're going into a new market, it's just like the expectation isn't like always going to be like a totally sold out show or whatever, but it's still just like
Mm-hmm.
it's hyping people up, and then whenever they see this sick acts, they're going to tell their friends about it, and then it just makes the next experience that much better.
yeah, like you could check your stats on like Spotify or whatever social media that you're using and stuff like that, but you're
Mm-hmm.
just never going to know until you actually go down there and then like see what actually happens. Because there's been
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
times where like even over here, like if we played in Dallas, we've played in front of like crowds of like 400 people, and then it was 12 people. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah, roll the dice, and
Mm-hmm.
even with like
Yeah,
social
roll the
stuff
dice,
too.
see what
Yeah,
happens.
it,
Yeah,
I was gonna say even on like social
Yeah.
stuff, there's certain examples where
yeah,
it's like, especially with like TikTok and everything, like there'll be artists that are
uh,
like
Mm-hmm.
big on that, and they might have a lot of followers from a certain area, but just because someone likes someone digitally does not mean like they'll come out to the show and like be there and support. It's
I
like
learned that the hard
too.
way.
Oh yeah. What's your tale there?
It's because like I'm sort of like besides the podcast, like I sometimes I do shows and
mhm,
basically a promoter. And well, like I had like a show where there was like a lot of engagement on social media. Like one band got like 100 likes, another one got 75. I got like 80 some. And then the day of the show comes and only like 40 people showed up for the entire show. And so that's kind of like,
yeah,
oh, damn.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we've been in we've been in situations like that where we're like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, we're gonna play for this person, and then uh like this person had like 580,000 followers or some shit like that, and then like we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna go play out in Fort Worth, and then it
mhm.
was like, you know who I'm talking about, Phil. I'm not gonna name drop, but it's like then like it was like 10 people showed up for for that
Oh,
person. We're like, what? How the fuck does that happen? And then we've
Yeah.
seen acts where they like have like no like numeric like indicator that they do have a following. And then damn, they slammed it. They like were able
Mm-hmm.
to bring out like 50 people like on their own, and it's just like, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
very
it's just hard.
it's not, yeah, incredibly directional. Like you think you have an idea and then you just get fucking like super surprised. So at the end of the day, you
Mm-hmm.
never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
No, yeah, definitely.
never
Yeah,
know.
'cause,
You got to
like
raw
I really
dog
look
it a
at,
few times.
yeah, because I really look into the numbers just to make sure, because you want, as a promoter, you basically want like a safe show. You want to make sure you're able to pay the bands, pay the venue, and pay yourself basically. But then stuff happens. It's just kind of like, oh shit, it's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I was gonna ask, with your upcoming music, what's the plan for that? Like, is it an EP or an album, or what's the story behind the upcoming music?
Yeah. So we've been in the studio. We probably wrapped like, I don't know, like I don't know, it was like 8 months ago or something like that. We wrapped
Mhm.
everything, like recording, mastering, and everything like that. It was just kind of coming up with like art concepts, and then just kind of yeah, just rolling out some singles and stuff like that. Just getting feelers back, because before that, I think we hadn't released anything in a little over a year, and demand, yeah, like people have been stoked on it. It's been really good. But as far as like the upcoming album, we
Mm-hmm.
we still haven't pegged, like, I mean, we have like rough timeline of like release. We don't have a date solidified yet, but we'll have a lot of like the title and whatnot. It'll be revealed soon. But yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
yeah, just an album I read. Like a lot of it, like at the time I was dealing with like let's see, it's just like DWI. I lost a close friend of mine at the
Mhm.
time, and just obviously pandemic shit. Everyone went through it, so that's
Oh yeah.
it threw everyone on their ass. But it was just, and then losing my job, like all right in like a 2 month span or something like that, and it just like yeah,
Yeah, your life sucked.
yeah.
I'd never live your life. Fuck that.
Damn.
Yeah,
How did you
but,
handle that? Like, besides the music, how did you handle that?
man, good support system, good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just and oddly, it was like during the pandemic, even like it brought a lot of people, like, even though it wasn't like in person, like closer together, like digitally, like everyone's just
Mhm.
like, I just remember playing like video games a shitload when there was nothing else to do, like
Yeah,
hopping on
Discord was used a
Discord.
lot.
Yeah, that was my introduction to
Yeah.
Discord, was just like playing like dumb games like Fall Guys or like Rocket League and stuff
Among
like
Us.
that, and just Among Us. Yes, there was a lot of the sussing out and whatnot for that. But yeah. It was just at the time it was just having a good support system, friends, music. Like, I know during the pandemic, like we probably waited about like a month, and then we got back together. We were like, man, fuck. Like that was the only like social activity I think that I had. I know, Shane, at the time you were working at the
Mhm.
restaurant. I was, and I remember too, like when I got fired, I like skated over to your coffee shop and I was like, dude, I just got fired.
Yeah.
It was
Hell
like,
yeah, brother. Time to skate.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Man, I wish I was fired. I would have given anything to be fucking fired during the
Damn.
pandemic. I just had to
How
work
how was
all
it
the
working
time.
how was it working at a coffee shop during the pandemic?
Sucked.
Oh.
Sucked. I would see because I was in downtown Dallas, and then like I would be like, oh look, a person is coming in, guys. Let's go say hi.
Oh.
It would just be like a cop like that was like,
Oh
hey,
man.
can I get my coffee? I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I went through a similar
So
thing
what?
because during that time I was working at Home Depot, so like retail, and like they had like
Uh-huh.
very specific rules. Like you would need to like count the people. Like only like a certain amount of people were allowed to the resort, so you would be like clicking
Uh-huh.
them in, and it was just hell because like if you miscounted or something, like managers would get on you, and
Yeah.
then it would create such a long line because again, only certain people can go out, then check out, and then the next batch of people come in. It was just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, and
would
then
like I would be going up to people. I'd be like, "You got the Rona?" And they're like, "No, it's just diarrhea. Leave me alone, man."
oh
No.
man, I remember going to the I remember going to the grocery store. It was like right before they had recommended like doing like masks and stuff. At first, they were like, "No, don't wear
yeah,
masks." Like blah blah blah. I went to the grocery store. I already had a mask, so I was like, "Well, I'm gonna wear it because I feel like it's safer than you know." It was just like I
yeah, they're
guess
just raw
it'll
dogging
do.
it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I go to the grocery store and like I'm down this aisle, and then a lady starts walking down it with her cart. She sees me with a mask on and just like fucking books it out of there. She's like, "Oh shit, he has like
Um,
the COVID
yeah,
and shit."
the
But it's just like, nah, I'm just trying to be safe or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, just precautions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should have done that because did you guys ever get COVID or no?
Uh, I got it like 3 or 4 times.
Oh shit. Yeah, because the first time I got it, I didn't think much of it because I was just coughing a little bit. So I'm like, you know what, whatever, because sometimes I have allergies. And then it wasn't until the morning before I was going to work. I was taking a shower and I couldn't smell my shampoo and I thought I was going crazy. Like maybe it's not strong enough or something. So like I started like sniffing it and like the scent was gone
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, like
Yeah.
that's it. It's COVID. I'm dead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good that it wasn't that bad for you. Like, I mean, me, yeah, because me, like the first time, I just felt like a little like warm. I guess I didn't have a cough or
Yeah.
anything like that. And fortunately, I was jobless at the time. Like, very few people were getting tests,
Mm.
or it was like, and I think no, there were tests at the time, but I was like, there's no point of me getting a test because all they're going to say is like, well, stay at home, which
Stayed
I
home.
was already
Yeah.
doing because I'm jobless. Like, what am I going to do? So yeah, I just stayed at home, and yeah, because 2 of the people I was around also like tested positive. So it's just like, well, okay, I guess, yeah, but yeah, and then like the other, only one of the times kind of knocked me on my ass. So like 103 fever for
hmm
like 2 or 3 days
Oh,
and
wow.
broke it. But then yeah, all was well after that.
hmm And how did you keep your momentum, by the way? Because I was looking at your releases, and obviously around the pandemic, it kind of slowed down a little bit. Did you guys like ever panic with like, hey, our momentum's kind of slowing down because stuff is shutting down?
Yeah, and I think during the pandemic, like we were trying to figure out how to do things. We would make posts and stuff. We
Mm.
did like a live stream or two during that, and we were already recording music at the time, so we decided to like drop an EP because it's like no
Mm.
one has anything to do. Music is kind of one of the things that good pandemic activity, I guess, just jamming to some music. Although it's not,
Mhm.
one of the things we like, I don't feel like rock music is conducive in the like digital sense as it is like just being at a show and like, getting to jam out with it. Cause it just like, I don't know, I feel like it misses a whole lot when it translates digitally. Unless it's like mixed and mastered like super well. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think we're able to drop the EP. It was like I want to say it was like September of 2020. So we dropped that, and vaccines started coming into play like March. And as soon as we got all that stuff started happening and got the shot, then I was just like, all right, well, um, I'm fucking we're playing shows now. Like let's fucking go. Like we booked like
Mhm.
crazy. Like I remember everyone was just like so hyped to just like play shows and just be out again. Uh, and
Mm.
and yeah, yeah,
No, that's the similar thing over here where I didn't join like until after the pandemic. So like before that, like people were just excited to be doing shows all over again because I mean, a year and a half is just oof, of not being like go to shows, and then I think an occurrence that occurred here, at least in the scene is that certain bands just like stopped and they Like they just disappeared. I'm not sure if that happened over there as well or not. Hmm. What do you think like what do you think separated like the bands that survived the band then compared to the bands that did survive?
I know it's for me. It's hard to say because like we had literally formed like as a full band. It was like
Mm.
October of 2019. So we had maybe gotten like we had actually started like pretty. We probably had like 8 or 9 shows. I'm trying to remember. What do you think, Shane? It was probably like some like 8 shows or something like that. Starting in December to like February, maybe, maybe like maybe like 6 or something like that. Either way, yeah, we were just getting we were just getting our footing and like really we were like, oh hell yeah, 2020 like it's gonna be it, and just wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like passing of the torch kind of thing. Hmm. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, oof. it's tough, I guess, because I mean, you're managing the lives of like 4 or 5 different people per band. So I mean, it's a struggle.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it definitely still is a thing too. Yeah, for sure. Like we all got jobs and like families. Everyone has their own situation, but we all like we take it. Like we want this thing to have. We make sure to practice like it every week.
Hmm. And so, what are you guys most excited for? Because I mean, you have new music coming out right now, and you've been like from what I saw on Instagram, you guys have been doing quite a bit of shows already. You had I'm trying to remember. You had like what the show? Yeah, yeah. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. It was just like kind of like in the moment of like basically like first verse was like getting arrested, and then it was just like being in jail and being like, oh fuck, like uh just worried about what would happen afterwards, and just like
Hmm.
public scrutiny and things like that. And I have an anxious mind, so my like when you're especially when you're in jail, you're just like, isolated. At least when I was in just like the drunk tank part of it, it was just like I was just
Was
by
there like any
myself in a
similarities to
room.
it, or have, like some fun parts of it?
I quit drinking out of it. So
Oh,
yeah, which
well, there you
which
go.
is good. Yeah, I haven't, yeah, like, yeah, so yeah, I haven't been drinking for like a little over 3 years, and saved
Oh,
money.
wow.
Lost a lot of weight too. Yeah, like dropped like 30 pounds or something like that after I quit drinking.
Oh, damn.
No, no, definitely not. Only because of the fentanyl, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's bad over
it's
here.
not safe out there.
Mm-mm.
Only reliable thing, I guess, nicotine.
Yeah, it's pretty much that and vaping.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Because some of like the writing started before the pandemic and all that stuff happened. So there was just like stuff of like themes of like love towards the beginning of it, and just like breaking off of it, and then just like going just this fucking downward spiral. But kind of ended up semi ungracefully landing. But hey, a landing's a landing, you
It's
know.
a landing.
You gotta get your footing and then get back up and just fucking keep riding. Yeah, it's television. That one is it. It's kind of a multifaceted song. So there's like, it's a song that's comprised of four verses, and each of them is perspective of someone that is consuming media or involvement in media, whether it's someone first first part someone watching TV and just like mindlessly consuming information. Second verse is about someone that is suffering, they're losing a loved one in the hospital. And the third verse is someone pushing a camera into their face and making money off of, like someone else's like despair, basically. And the fourth
Mm.
one is just, fourth verse is just basically someone that has, it's just like realizing like, this shit's just fucked up, that we're just like like I I have this like it's a good thing knowing what's going on in the world, but there's just like just some of it being so involved and tied to money off of someone else's suffering is just kind of fucked up to me. Especially
Mhm.
like, I don't know, like all the serial killer shit. Like it's like, I mean, I guess it's like
Oh yeah, it's
interesting, but it's just
like a lot of documentaries online.
yeah, and like like almost like what is it, the Dahmer show, where like
Basically true crime stuff.
yeah, yeah, where like sure it's interesting, but it's just like, man, like these were people's lives that got fucking destroyed because of like monsters. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, basically. A couple of dogfights.
Yes,
The big the
those Pokemon are just enslaved, man. I know.
like if you see like the original Pokemon and stuff, it was supposed to be really dark. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the original intentions of it was supposed to be like actual fights. Like there's one a picture of which that snake Pokemon, I can't remember its name right now. The purple one. There's one where
I
in the manga where it's like it's Abrak or Arbok, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like in the manga, there's like a picture of it like getting sliced in half, and you see like the blood and the bones. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be dark. Hmm. And well, how did you come up with the idea about like television? Because you mentioned the first one's about a person who's just mindlessly consuming media. How did that come from? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. It's just like, yeah, like it just, I just had to write something about it because that song, I think I wrote and like, it's one of the later songs written in the album, but it was, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's just something that came to me that just like I'd been witnessing it and just like seeing like, you know, like even with like politics, it's like a thing of like we've had such
Mm-hmm.
this like stark, like growing stark divide in our country, and like people gravitate towards like anger. Like people will are more
Yeah.
likely to click on something that gives them an emotion, to where like people started realizing that from an entertainment politics perspective and just start veering in directions which ended up like, you know, which is why the nation's so fucking divided, is because like we like, you know, social media, one, we're
Mm-hmm.
consumed with it all the time. It's just like, you know, journalists are trying to like crank out like articles as fast as they can and trying to get, you know, they're gauging clicks, the amount of people that visit these
Yeah.
things, so they can make advertising dollars off of that, out of the expense of like, you know, just humanity. I don't know.
It's pretty sad because they actually do teach you that stuff in journalism classes. Because I took some of them and they kind of show you like how to like manipulate people to like capture their attention. Because it really is about advertising. Like news, it is about information, like giving it to you, but it's more about like, okay, how do we retain your attention? How do we get more advertising into our products or and services, basically?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And just especially when it
Yeah.
comes to like, yeah, like news and things like that too. It's like, yeah, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know, just fucked up the extents we go to like, you know, just make a
Mm-hmm.
buck.
And even and it's not just also like television, like it's also TikTok. Because I got like really addicted to that stuff where like the algorithm's so good that it knows exactly what you want and it just feeds it to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's interesting how that algorithm works, but yeah, I remember for a good minute I was like, like, you know, just death scrolling on TikTok for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kind of fell off social. I'm not as good as social media anymore. I don't know. I don't really like do as much on it anymore, but yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, TikTok's cool and all. It's like, it's as long as you know you
Yeah.
find the like, yeah, it's just like you search for one thing and it's all music related, then it just starts showing you a bunch of that, which is cool. I like that it feeds you that, but it also can be a
Oh,
bad
definitely
thing
because
where,
that.
oh yeah, I was gonna say it's like
Sorry,
also a
you go
bad
on.
thing if you're looking up like something, you know, if you're in a negative headspace and you're looking up like dark, depressing shit, you're gonna end up that's gonna keep feeding you more of that stuff because they know you're gonna consume it. So just like, I don't know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting
No,
how all
definitely.
these
I tend to
yeah.
focus on the positive part because like that's how you find new bands. Like honestly, it's honestly one of the best ways because before it was kind of Spotify because they would show you like a rate like your the band and then like the bands like them, but then Spotify kind of took. I mean, TikTok took over that where you follow the hashtags or just follow that band and it shows you like similar interest, similar genre of bands, and it's just awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, super good for discovery.
For reals? Damn.
Oh, guess we lost
Oh,
Shane.
he went away. Yeah. No, but yeah, I was really curious about that because like there's been people who've been finding me out of nowhere, and I'm mainly focused on the RGB, and then all these bands from like other parts of Texas or like other parts of the US, they just find me. And it's kind of crazy.
Man, the algorithm has now favored you, my friend. You are in the good
Finally,
graces with the
finally,
algorithm.
it only took a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, these things take time, you know. Yeah.
Mm. And out of curiosity, how do you deal with the pressure? Because as a content creator, like I'm dealing this with myself. To pump up content, like you need to like constantly pump out content, or else people lose interest very quickly. Especially now with like the internet, where if you're not capturing, if you're not doing something crazy within 15 seconds, people just like pull away. How do you like constantly keep your fans engaged and saying, "Hey, we're here, we're still making music, don't forget about us"?
Yeah, I think it's just like for us, we're more avid on like story posting and things like that, so people can like
Mm-hmm.
keep up with us. Sometimes it's just shit memes or some and then other times music related clips from shows and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then outside of that, we really try to focus more on like quality things that like matter more because like realistically if you're posting every single day, like it's hard like coming up with content that's like good consistently all of
Mm-hmm.
the time. Like yeah, I guess it just depends on the medium of the post. If it's like stories, then we just keep engagement through that and things like that. Like and honestly, like TikTok, I've been bad at keeping up with that one. Uh, but yeah, as far as like
Fun
like music
stuff.
video, like Instagram posts and things like that, we just try to do things that are like more impactful, about the shows that we've got coming up, promoting those things,
Mm-hmm.
and then just like clips from shows, things that just fans like seeing.
Mm-hmm. What shows have you been like most proud of, like when it comes to like the excitement of the crowd and the fact that people are like actually like vibing to your music?
Um, yeah, I mean, really, it's just like I'm trying to think of.
Has there been like any specific shows where like you guys were like actually like, oh shit, these people are singing our songs, they're jumping up and down, or they're excited for us?
Yeah, like I remember like we played at House of Blues a little bit recently, and we're there supporting another band called Darkbird, which they're super awesome, and yeah, we we played the show and had fans like singing some of the songs in the crowd, like yeah, and it's crazy seeing like because like just the yeah, and just like kind of humbling, just like going from like, oh shit, this used to just be like sad songs in my bedroom and shit like that, and people are just like singing like the words to it, and it's just like it's cool. It's like it's nice that people are like getting into it and stuff like that. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, like that show was really good, and a lot of times it's even just like a house show. Like house shows like just have people that are just like fucking energized, ready to see music.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I don't know what it is, but like I guess it's like people going out of their way to go to a house to see music are fucking amped to see music. I'm not to
Yeah.
talk down on venue, like it's just like I don't know, like maybe people see I don't know. Yeah, maybe we just said better. Like like
No,
people have
no,
been
no,
more
I agree.
stoked
I
at
agree
house
with that.
shows. Oh, you're gonna say?
No, I agree with that because yeah, because so like I managed a small well, they're a medium sized band, but basically what I told them was that they do different types of gigs because they're very versatile. So there's house shows, there's venue shows, and then on top there's like the food truck shows, basically where like you're in a restaurant, you're at a bar. Um, when it comes to the top one, which is these food truck bars, these restaurant bars shows, they pay the most, but they're the least creative. Like allowing like people there, they want to hear cover songs, they want to hear stuff that's background entertainment, but you get paid a lot more. Venue shows are like the happy medium where you're able to perform your songs and get paid decently. I mean, depending on the promoter and the situation around the band. Um, House shows they pay the least from what I've seen, but there people there are really there for the music. Like you're not the background entertainment. Like you're the main focus of the show. But again, less pay. But again, you're the center of attention when it comes to these shows.
It's actually, I mean, most of that's very true. We had one very odd circumstance where we were the only band playing at this like Halloween house show, where it was one
Mm.
of our like we made it was it was one of our like top money making shows, which is interesting.
Oh
That was
wow.
just like a house show, and like yeah, there's just like the guy that put it on had like a Venmo thing. He was like, all right, come on guys, like tip the band. Like, you know, they came out here to play for us. It's Halloween. Everyone was just like, you know, throwing like 20s, 40s and stuff through the Venmo. And it was just like, yeah, I know. I was just like, fuck, man. Like, we just need a little bit more of this, you know?
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. But yeah, also, go ahead, Shane.
Oh, I love it whenever like towards the end of the set, like sometimes we'll like bring people up on stage and then I like look over and then there's like 10, 15 people up on stage just like playing. Like I had one guy was like playing like a keyboard cat that like I got from like a Target, and then like tambourines, and then like somebody was like shaking their ass and stuff like that. But like whenever you could like bring the audience in to like be a part of like the music, that's where I get psyched. So what were you saying, Phil?
No, I forgot. Yeah. I don't think it was that important.
What's the weirdest place you think we've played at?
Oh, I think it was the Italian restaurant, probably. That one in Grapevine.
You guys played at an Italian restaurant?
It was like when it was like like we were the first band to go on, and like people were just finishing their meals. There was like a couple families, and there's just like this post-punk band that's setting up on stage, and like it's a super tall stage too. It was like a 5 or 6 foot tall stage, and our heads were close to the roofs and shit.
Yeah, you had to like go up the stairs and stuff like that, and then like you're like looking down from like the rafters, and then like looking at like a family of 5 enjoying like pizza and garlic knots,
spaghetti and shit. Yeah,
we're like, all right, guys.
How did you guys get that gig?
I'm trying to. Someone hit us up about it. I personally don't remember how it came to be. Someone DM'd us about a show. They're like, yeah, this place started having shows, blah, blah, blah. And we were just like, at the time, it was 2021. We were just like all about fucking playing shows. And we were just like, all right, let's do it. And it was fucking weird, but it was a time, you know.
I feel like the promoter was like supposed to like book maybe like background music type of thing, or like acoustic or jazz acts and stuff, but he like just brought in like a bunch of punk bands and like indie rock bands, and then just like it was the most awkward setting to have a punk show. But
yeah,
it sounds like a great time though.
Yeah, the owners were
should have just shot a music video.
The owners like literally like a month later were like, okay, no more of this shit.
Oh.
Yeah, what was it called? Like Amore's Pizza or something? Amore's?
Yeah. Probably, yeah, Amore's, yeah. Which, I wonder if that place is still doing anything at all. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's the weirdest one. That was the weirdest one I had off the top. Did you have anything else like weird shows, Shane?
No, that's the one.
That's the one
for sure. Yeah,
that's the one, dude.
Yeah,
yeah, that was it.
Oh, I wanted to say like earlier when you were talking about saying that you bring up the crowd, like you bring in the crowd to like join you guys. Like I'm excited to hear that, because like often I think some bands like they don't really engage the audience that much, because I think there's some bands that are musicians, obviously, but then I really enjoy bands that are not just musicians but also performers, where they actually interact with the audience, they put on an actual show, not just play their songs.
Yeah, and I think that's super important. Just like, you know, we like this is an experience about every one of us in here too. We're all having fun. Like musicians, we want to have fun. We want you guys to have fun. Let's fucking do it together. And yeah, like like it's one of those things where like, especially when I go to shows too, like there's sometimes where you see a band where there's a total disconnection because you can tell that I don't know, the vocalist or whoever's the front man, it just has like pre-canned like shit that they're gonna say about like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, this love song that I wrote back and fucking blah 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 da 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 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like me, I just I show up and I just try to be like personal and just like just pick off the crowd, just talk shit. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work
Mhm.
out well, but I try to make it as personable as possible and just make it fun for everyone.
How did you come up with the decision where you actually differentiate yourself from them?
Oh, what was that again? I'm sorry.
How did you? What made you like go with that decision of actually like being interactive with the crowd? Because some bands obviously don't, choose not to be do that. Like there's a disconnection, but you actually chose to engage the crowd.
Um,
Like, where did that come from?
yeah, oddly, I think it just comes from like I don't know, like I like stand up comedy and shit like that, and I also like high
Mm.
energy shows, so it's just something where I like to like I don't know. It's not that I'm like a comedian or something like that, but it's just like I like the engagement of like certain comedic shows versus like the like watching like I remember like Dead Kennedys is one of my like most influential like live obviously not old enough to have seen them live, but just
Yeah.
watching like live videos of them from the 80s and just the fucking raw energy and the engagement with the crowd and things like that. It was just like I want like this like I want this just yeah, I guess for engage yeah sorry for engagement yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like it's important to have a connection with the audience. Like versus like I don't know. Like there's some people that prefer just musicians to play the songs, and obviously that's what we're here to do. But also it's like it means like to me when I go to a show, it means something when they like say something that's unique to the crowd.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think you're trying to have like if you're going to a show like yeah, like you probably like the music that the bands are doing, but you're going to like have a new experience and like you could listen to music like in your room, but like the reason that you get out into the world is to like have a good time. So if we
Hmm.
could help people accomplish that, like it's fucking enjoyable.
Hmm. No, I agree because I think some people think concerts are just like a musical experience, but it's actually more of a live interaction experience, like a social event. And some people forget that part of the experience.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot! Sorry, I just saw like a message right now. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're all good.
Yeah,
Bill, your video is like frozen right now,
girls.
and then you just kind of look like a Muppet to me on this end. Just wanted to share that
Oh
with
god.
you.
Oh shit!
Joe, does it look like that to you too? Am I a Muppet?
Sometimes it does freeze. Are you?
Oh, oh God! Hold on. Let me see if I
You
can.
told me. No, don't. By the way, don't worry about it because once the video comes out, it'll be saved locally. So what we see on screen won't be what we see on the downloaded video.
Oh, gotcha. So it
Yeah. So
records
don't.
each unique. Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So like even though it looks like fuzzy with us, it'll be fine. Like don't worry about it. That's why
Cool.
I chose this because with Zoom it's awful.
For sure.
Yeah, because like with that program, you can't really like control the audio quality, the video quality. So this costs like $20 a month, so it's not too bad. But I mean, I prefer that. I prefer quality over the cheapest thing available.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
should be their spokesperson.
What?
You should be their spokesperson. That was they're like, by the way, if you want quality over
Over.
bullshit that you get from
This episode is sponsored by
Yeah.
Riverside. Get.
yeah,
You gotta need those that advertising background.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like honestly, I want to see you guys. Is there any chance of you guys like performing in South Texas? I guess the closest thing would probably be like San Antonio or something.
Yeah, because right
So
now.
we're
Okay.
doing. Oh, good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was about to say.
I'm on like I'm on a lag. So
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm on the same page right here. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. So I like you're saying. Yeah, I think the closest thing to you right now is San Antonio, Houston, Austin. But yeah, it's one of those things. You know, as soon as we start expanding more, we're trying to figure out new places to branch out to, and you know we'll see where we land up. But yeah, if, obviously if you have any venue recommendations, send them our way too.
hmm When it comes to San Antonio, the one that almost everybody plays at is this thing called the Paper Tiger.
yeah,
That's the one that almost everybody.
yeah, we'll be at Paper Tiger on what September 17th or some September 16th or something like that.
Looking at a calendar.
I want to come down to South Texas though. You guys are like what, like 4 hours away from Monterrey?
Yeah, basically 3 hours, 4 hours. We're 10 minutes from the border. Right there. When it comes to McAllen, well, it depends because there's two like venues that like are often played at. There's the Gremlin, and there's the Flying Wars.
Yeah.
Those are the spots to like really go for. Or there's one in Alamo called 707 Coffee House. That's basically, yeah, it's like an outside show, but I think the Gremlin and the Wars are the better spots.
Yeah, we love playing in like the smaller towns because like I don't know, we like played in like Norman, Oklahoma one time, and then we're just like, man, we just saw like bands were playing and stuff like that, so we wanted to come out, and then we're like, fuck yeah, okay, let's do this thing, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
in Dallas, like people are just jaded.
yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like living in Dallas is kind of like having Netflix versus like a small video store. Where Netflix, you're just like so jaded of like, oh, I could pick whatever, but I don't know if I'm gonna pick anything. Whereas small video store, you're just like, oh shit, I'm here, like I'm gonna pick something I like. I don't know, to be the most like apt like comparison, I guess. But yeah, there's just like way too much shit going on in Dallas.
Yeah, not to like throw shade at our like own music scene over here, but it's just like so it could just be so watered down because like there's 1,000 things going on at times. So the pool is just not as strong, and then like people just aren't excited to do shit like as opposed to like you're in a smaller town and then people get stoked whenever there's like something cool going on, so like the crowds in like a smaller market are like more they are like more appreciative of like the like cool shit going on. They want to be a part of it. So yeah, like South Texas is definitely on the bucket list.
That's so interesting because like over here, like a common thing, and not just in the music scene, but like in general, like people always want to go to Austin. They want to go to San Antonio because those are like the bigger areas. And it's so weird, like hearing people from bigger cities say, like, "Hey, actually, smaller town might actually be a little bit better because if you're like the most exciting thing around, people are gonna go compared to, let's say, Austin or Dallas, where like there's so many events that are going on that you really got to compete against them."
Yeah, and like Austin is great, and then I mean, there's been like we've had a great show in Austin before, and we had like one where people are like, "Oh yeah, there's like 50 things going on this street. Let's bounce around." So like it's all it all depends, Austin, like the bigger markets are like necessary, but I feel like for me, I get like more substance out of like playing like in those more like intimate crowds and stuff like that. It's kind of like how Phil was talking about like some of those best shows are like those house parties and stuff, because they're like, you're like, you are like the main focus, the main attraction. People are there to have a like a connectional like experience, you know. And then with the smaller towns, smaller markets, you just kind of get a little bit more out of that, you know.
No, definitely. I seen that not with music, but more so with comedy. Where I've been to shows where they're like in stadiums, like comedians are in stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because you're seeing obviously the comedian you want to see. Like for example, the comedian that comes over here a lot is Gabriel Iglesias. But once it comes to like more intimate settings, like there's not much of that. So like there's a craving for that. We're like, hey, we want a big comedian that, you know, they can fill up whether it be like a bar or other types of venues where it's like a small club. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like, this makes me. It makes me think of this show I went to like a while ago, many years ago. I think it was like Young the Giant or something. I went with a friend. Tickets were like $60. We showed up late, so we had to stay at the back of the venue. But everyone in the back of the venue was just like talking, and it's just like, bro, like you guys paid $60 to just like stand around and talk. Like the band's up there. Like I don't know. Yeah, where it's just like it wasn't like they were like engaged with the music at all. I don't know. Yeah, that was just like but yeah, it's just different going. You know, like going to like a smaller setting where you're like, you know, more apt to like want to see what you're there to see versus like I don't know, like a bigger stadium or venue where it's kind of like more of a social gathering or something. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, definitely. I also saw that with when I went to see the Cure in Austin. There was like some people who were just talking like, "What song is that?" And I'm just like, just pay attention to the songs. And I mean, part of it, yeah, and part of it is because Robert Smith, he's kind of like a troll a little bit because he would be like, "Oh, this next song is very popular in the '80s, and it's like one of his new songs," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, he really misses the crowd. What kind of well, going off you said you had weird experiences. Have you had like any kind of like scary experiences with, like when you're like performing or touring, like any like actual like, oh shit, like, this could have gone wrong really bad?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think we've had anything go like terribly wrong. Where like I mean, it's just like shit. Like the only thing I remember was just like your amp blew up at one show, Shane, at like Caves, but it wasn't anything like
it just blew up.
it was.
Yeah, my amp blew up. Like it literally like fried on stage. And then like at the time I was like drinking a lot too, so like I was like had like no fucking idea. And then like I had like friends just like switch out the amp for me, and I was just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, and I think we were like
one time
I was gonna say I think we were like
heading down to Austin.
Oh, go ahead, Shane.
I think once we're playing in Austin one time, and then I was just sick as shit. like I did not need to. I should have not like played, but I was like, we got a book, let's do it. And then I just like, I think I don't even remember playing because I was so fucked up on drugs and shit.
And oh yeah, that makes me think of a show.
But what were you saying, Phil?
Oh, I had something else, but that made me think of this show. It was one of the first shows we had coming out of the pandemic. I had food poisoning the night before the show, and like I was just like shitting my brains out like the next day, like the day of the show, and I like had to like fucking clench like a lot of the day, just like. And I remember just being like, well, fuck, man. Like,
did you shart yourself like right before?
Right before I left to go. Yeah, I did. I had to like change and everything.
Ooh.
Just, like, yeah, just where like at that point, I was just like, okay, just clinch up, you got this, because like, yeah, it was like one of the first shows, like after the whole vaccines and everything came out, and like I just remember like I was in my mind, I was just like, fuck, dude, well, if we get locked down, like, what if this is it and we get locked down again? Like, I want to play in front of people again. Like, I miss that shit. So I just, just sucked it up and clenched up during the show. And fortunately, I didn't shit myself on stage, but there were a couple of points where I was pretty close.
What was your strategy going forward after you like shit yourself before a show the first time? Did you have to change like anything in your diet or anything like that? Or are you still slamming down chili dogs before we play?
No, just Taco Bell. Yeah, just crunch wraps and just the healthy stuff.
You're walking a dangerous line.
No, Taco Bell strengthens you, man. Like it makes you a better person. This episode is sponsored by Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Have you had that volcano burrito?
It's so good.
How is it?
Yeah, that thing you will shit yourself like 30 minutes afterwards. Ooh. Like if you need to clear out, then that's the way to do it.
Dude.
Yeah, if you need a cleanser, don't go to CVS for laxatives. Just go to Taco Bell and get a volcano burrito.
It's so worth it, though.
Yeah.
They were actually trending lately, Taco Bell, because there's this trend called the Operation Steel Soda. And so, like, this guy, he got a cup. He put like a hole, like a tube in it and put a hole in it. Started sitting like gallons of the Baja Blast.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I love that. I love that. We bleed teal in this house.
One of the things you had mentioned earlier was that you're actually gonna do a vinyl, right, for your upcoming album.
Yep.
Are you gonna be selling them only on tour, or also like on your Bandcamp? If you have do you have a Bandcamp or no?
Yeah, we have a Bandcamp. So yeah, we'll sell in the Bandcamp. We'll probably have a pre-order on our website as soon as we announce it. Pre-sale on our website. We'll probably sell on the .com, and then of course on tour too.
Because I would love to buy some albums, because I've been recently getting to like vinyl lately, because very very late on the trend, but I've been like a big fan of like local musicians finally getting on that trend, because it's coming back.
Oh yeah, man! You could buy 5 of our album if you want to collect, dude. There's no limit to how many of our vinyl you can purchase. Actually, if you want to collect, collect. It doesn't have to be different bands, man. You could have 5 of the same album.
Why even stop at 5? Why not?
Yeah,
why not 200.
That's the bare minimum, man? Right there.
Yeah,
200. You can buy the whole shipment.
You can only order in quantities of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, bulk buying.
Yeah, I'm a big vinyl person, so I'm like just stoked to have something like on an actual like tangible record and stuff. That's been like a dream of mine since I was like a fucking queen. So that's like a dream come true for me on that one.
How does it feel like? How does it actually feel like going through that process of actually getting your music on vinyl? Because that's a very different process just from like having it on MP3 or even cassettes now.
Yeah. So this will be our first vinyl drop. We're still, we're gonna be super stoked to like have like a tangible copy. Before this, it's just been like CDs where it's just like it's like cool to see it or whatever on a CD, but it's not like incredibly special. I don't know, but yeah, there's just something just like more.
I feel like whenever you're getting a vinyl ready and stuff, you just have to know that you're playing the waiting game and stuff, which sucks because like during the pandemic, we were, looking into like getting our EP on vinyl, and then the wait was like 9 months, and then a lot of places shut down. And then I talked to other bands. So I was talking to this one band called Battles, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, we only got ours back in like 6 months because we like went through this company in Singapore and stuff." And I'm like, "How do you even know about that?" And so it's just like a whole lot of patience and stuff, and then like just making sure you do it the right way so you can like have like something good at the end. Even like the fast ones now are like, they're like, "Get final, 5 months," and we're like,
5 months.
It's dope.
Yeah, like
5 months.
And a part of it too is like the log jams from like huge artists like Taylor Swift and shit like that, where they're just like, like the vinyl companies have to prioritize those because there's such a large order, so it pushes everything else back. So it kind of like ends up kind of like fucking like smaller artists in the meantime trying to get like a pressing back. Which that happened. I think that happened to this local band around here, Maestro Maya. They had talked to me about it a little bit, and they were like, "Yeah, it was supposed to be like 8 months, and it ended up being like a year and a half." Yeah,
damn.
But
yeah, don't miss Taylor Swift.
Are y'all?
I didn't know that.
Are y'all Swifties? Are y'all pro or con Swift?
I'm
not a Swiftie, but I think I would be pro because I think she's doing great.
Yeah, I'm pro Swift as well.
Yeah, she's cool.
She has like she really has a stranglehold on her fans. Like, it's crazy.
She's wonderful. Same. Taylor Swift is wonderful, or you'll be assassinated. Somebody out there.
Taylor Swift is wonderful. Okay. I said that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's just fine.
Yeah. Her social media, the social media presence of her fans. Oh.
Oh yeah. Those are.
I wonder how artists like that like actually get such a loyal fan base to like that extreme.
Man. Probably just like crazy ass PR behind it. Like, yeah, like, I mean, obviously PR one, but then just like at the end of the day, it's just people connecting to the massive amounts of shit that's pushed out there. So it's kind of a combination of just like those two things primarily, I guess, like that, music videos and stuff like that. And honestly, I never really I haven't consciously listened to a lot of her music. I'm sure I've heard it in like stores and shit like that, but I really don't know who it is that's playing. But yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I know who we're listening to on the way to San Antonio.
All right, now
Swift.
Consciously
5 hour drive. 5 hour drive. T Swift the whole time, dude.
See if her discography's like 5 hours deep. I'm sure it is.
It probably is, because I think her sets are like 2 or 3 hours. I think.
Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Swift.
Yeah, she's got it. She's got a 5 hour car ride. She's got a San Antonio's drive worth of songs.
Dude, she was also on the news to her fans because they were causing like seismic activity in California or Seattle.
Oh yeah, I saw that. They're like, wait, everybody. Taylor Swift's about to play. Hold on. Stop the show for a second. We're gonna cause an earthquake.
Damn.
Oh yeah,
that is rad, man. That's punk rock.
Yeah, she's got
if causing an earthquake or getting close to.
She's got
What does she have?
10 albums and like 3 or 4 EPs and 4 live albums. So yeah, I think there's 5 hours of content in there, unless she's got some. Unless her songs are like "You Suffered" by Napalm Death and only 4 seconds long each, then yeah, we got 5 hours of shit there.
She re-recorded some of her music.
Yeah, there's like Taylor version,
Oh yeah, she remastered.
Yeah, because she wanted to like have ownership of the actual masters because she couldn't get her originals.
which
Yeah, like how many years is it? You have to wait like 10 years to remaster your music, and then you could like actually own.
Yeah, so she had to like reperform it and then have them as the Taylor version.
which smart.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
smart, man.
Yeah, yeah, because
I think that's what like Snoop Dogg does for like other artists too. Because he was like, okay, let me help you remaster your album and stuff like that, and then he remastered a lot of his music.
no, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like once you get into like the actual like the business part of the music industry, because I hear crazy stories about people where there was this one musician I know about. I'm not gonna mention his name, but he got into a contract where this guy was gonna pay like for like all the production for everything and like help him get like his music out there. But this lawyer or like business person wanted him to become like Disneyfied, and well, that artist didn't want to. And well, by that time it was kind of too late because he had signed a 2-year contract, and since he didn't want to do what he did, he's like, okay, well, you can't perform for 2 years, you can't make new music, and you gotta wait it out. Yeah, that really kills his career.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think I was reading something like about TLC, and then TLC they sold like 8 million copies of their last album, and then but then the record company made them pay back the studio time, the production, all this stuff that they invested into the album. And then after the end of it, like they got about like $300,000 each after like selling, because I think they had like 4 points on that album.
Damn.
They only had 4 points, so that like I'm not too good at math, but the record company's definitely banked.
Yeah.
Banked crazy.
Damn. Music it doesn't sound like a good industry to be in unless like you're completely indie, then it seems like okay, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like Chance the Rapper, like fucking made it being completely independent, and that's fucking like major kudos to him. Like that, like he's fucking like he killed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I heard about him and I also heard about Billie Eilish. In the beginning, she was independent.
Oh wait, she's independent too?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. I'm not sure she is anymore, but she in her when she started off and got big, she was completely indie.
Hell yeah. Yeah, now she's like,
so,
I remember at one point she was like the biggest, if not just the United States, maybe the world too. I don't know, but at least the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's her brother that produces everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. When it comes to your music, how do you guys like? Do you guys ever think about those kind of moves? Like, I mean, eventually they'll come because you guys are doing pretty well on your streaming and your social media. Like, do you guys ever think about like what's coming next for you guys as a band?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to like travel a bit more, just get out there, just get in front of new faces, just connect with new people. Me personally, I moved into a new spot with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna be here like writing and writing. Just kind of as the rest of my band likes to do it, just like, all right, Phil, get in your cave and get to writing. So that's what I'm doing right here.
Bill moved out to the country. He moved out to a place called Corinth, Texas. It is out in the boonies.
Yeah, it's
Phil pretty much lives in Oklahoma now.
It's quieter out here, let me tell you. Like Shane, I'm not hearing any of those East Dallas fireworks anymore that randomly go off, you know?
Oh, dude, yeah. I don't know if people do this over there, but they're still shooting off fireworks.
Once in a while, yeah, we get that.
It's like,
yeah, you get your fireworks, and then you get your celebratory fire as well.
Yes, yes. As far as music wise, like when it comes to the business, man, if I could eventually like I don't know, do what I love to do and then live my life and
Mm-hmm.
stuff doing that, that's oh sell my soul.
What's your price for your soul?
Price for a soul? Probably like
500
$500. I don't know. But man, if I get to do this for a lot longer and play music and stuff like that, then that's amazing. That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, then I'll price it at a lifetime supply of Taco Bell, free of charge.
There you go.
Oh yeah, if we're sponsored by Taco Bell, I'd be like 500.
Like instead of the Warped Tour by Vans, it'll be by Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, bring that shit back.
Isn't there festivals over there in Dallas? Like I heard of one called like Never Say What or what's. There's some. So what?
So what? Yeah, So What Festival. Yeah, that's something that a guy named Mike Zemer does over in this area. It's like alternative and like, how would you describe it?
Like, I would say it's like a lot more
emo.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, emo, post-hardcore, like metal, and then they started bringing more like rap groups into it too, and like, yeah, it's just I don't know if we would like mesh quite well into it. Like it's something that's cool and I like it, but I don't know if we're as adjacent for the crowd. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but like,
they reached out to us before and they're like, hey, like fill this thing out, and then blah blah blah, and then I was like, okay, there you go. What do you want now? Let me know. We're literally texting. Yeah, that festival, like it used to be called South by So What, and then it was kind of like a protest show whenever South by Southwest was going on, and then the guy that started it, Mike, was like, "Hey, we're gonna do our own festival here in Dallas and call it South by So What." And then I think they thought that sounded they kind of grew out of that title, and then like it found its own identity. And then they just started calling it So What.
Yeah, because I wish there was more like festivals over here, like in this area. Because the closest thing is like in Austin. Like that's where things at right now.
Austin, and then was San Marcos, the Float Fest. Float Fest is dope. Yeah, one time I was at Float Fest, and then I woke up like in my tent, and then I just heard like a Mike Jones. I was like, whoa, is Mike Jones playing? Let's go, dude. And then it was like Age the Elephant and like MGMT afterwards and stuff. Dude, it was nuts.
Like, Float Fest was my first time like floating a river and like drinking. And so I'd never experienced that before. And floating that river, it's like, I don't remember how long it takes you to get to the end of it, but I want to say it was like 2 hours or something like that to get from one end to the other. So we're like, I'm drinking like the entire time. And like, finally I'm like, okay, like I'm a good level of drunk. Like I'm pretty dang drunk, but I'm just like, not like, you know, I'm still with it. But then you stand up and the blood starts flowing. Then that's when that shit really hits you. Like, because I basically blacked out at that point. Like, I remember seeing like bits and pieces of Portugal the Man, and then like Bun B, and I think, yeah, what was it? Group Love went on, and I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go back to the car. Yeah.
My drug experience at Float Fest, I think we started off, we're smoking a little bit, and then we started drinking, and we got in our tubes, and then I started shrooming, and then started drinking again. And then I was just like, I'm high. Now I'm on downers. Now I'm in the middle. Now we're floating.
The full experience.
Yeah, then just the blackout happens. But now we're straight edge.
Yeah.
Because we got partied out.
Yep, you learn some lessons for sure.
For sure.
Dying. Is one of them.
Almost dying.
Yes.
Well, by the way, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I'm not sure like if you have like other stuff going on. So like I'll ask you the two last questions I usually ask the bands. The first one is what kind of advice would you guys give like to bands that are like either starting off or like they're barely reaching your area, because you guys have been doing it for a while. So what would you tell like the younger bands? Like what advice would you give them?
I mean, first off, just, like focus on the quality of the music first. Like that's what ends up making people like have a connection with you. Like, from that level, tighten things up when it comes to like doing a live experience. And then, make your first event like a spectacle, like do something that makes people just like, holy shit, this is their first first act, and they just blew it out of the foot. Like, just make it to something where you like build the hype out of it. Then after that, it's like social media game after that. I mean, I guess in my opinion, but what do you got, Shane?
I would say that you have the best songs, but you got to make sure people hear it and stuff. Because if you just put it out there and then you don't put anything behind it, you're going to write the best music and then nobody's going to be able to enjoy it. So that's like, I think that almost sucks more than like not writing it at all, because like it's not going to ears.
It's like
like you have to push it. It's the put
like the like one of the like you could have to be one of the best musicians in the world or whatever, but if you only have like, I don't know, 100 Facebook friends or whatever, and you post it to your Facebook, like 90% of the people are not going to give a shit on there, because that's the truth. It's just where it's just like, well, you've had 10 people listen to it totally, and they were like, okay, that was cool, that was awesome, good job, and that's it. Yeah, so it's just like doing something to really push it out. No, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think for like young bands too, like you just kind of have to like be a little like vulnerable when it comes to like showing your music too. A little vulnerable, like open, and then a little shameless too. It's just like I don't know. You meet somebody. What type of music do you like? Blah blah blah. I like this. Cool. Blah blah blah. I write music. Well, I'm on Spotify. Let me see your phone. Bam, follow. Oh, cool. They don't listen to it, and then something pops up when the music starts coming out. Oh, cool. They just released a song. I'm gonna listen to it because it's right here. And then that's just like one of the small things that you could do to just get like people around you to start listening. But you just gotta get out there, make sure that it reaches ears.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's vital. The last question is, what was your favorite part of the interview?
Probably making
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
You guys sold me on your band, and I really want to see you guys. So you did a great job on that.
Dude, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah. This is fun. It's good meeting you, getting to know you too, and hopefully we'll see you one of these days in person soon.
Definitely. I would love to try to make it to the San Antonio one, because that's the closest one, and I really want to see you guys. I mean, the way you describe your band, the performance, the onstage presence, it's fantastic.
Well, Joe, you're on the list, dude. You're on the list. Just show up.
So before we take off, right now you can like plug in your social media, your music, everything.
Yeah. So Instagram at Primo Danger, Twitter/X at Primo Danger, YouTube Primo Danger, fucking Facebook Primo Danger,
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
That's where you get the best content.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a music video out. Demagnetized came out a couple months ago. Oh, the Stars, new single came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, or actually probably not SoundCloud, Deezer, all that shit, all the streamers basically.
The same
MySpace.
MySpace, live journal.
And then I guess just obviously just want to plug the rest of the band that make this thing happen too. Like Austin Ben Bever, been with the band since it first started, has really helped a whole lot push this thing forward, make it like super like, because I write basic drum parts. When I demoed it out, he knows exactly what to do behind the drums, making it like there's some drummers that just like over drum and just like put fills everywhere, and he just knows how to he knows how to season it right, like that, and just all the contribution he does to the band. Our bass player Blue, been with the band since the beginning too. Pretty much we had another bass player that was in for like 2 weeks, and he was he drifted off. But anyways, Blue, helps plug around Dallas too, and we get to practice. He lets us practice at his house, and then also Hector that just joined the band like 6 months ago, and he's been killing it on stage. Just mesh with them really well, and and the only other plug outside of that is just keep an eye out for the album. Like it should be coming pretty soon, and who knows, we might have a single or two before then.
Awesome. Make sure to like plug all that information in, so like you can send me some of like the ad set or whatever for their usernames. I'll put it on the YouTube video.
Nice.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
All right. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.